Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Welcome everybody to Real Estate Sips with Sandy and Shay. We are excited about today. And listen, this is going to be good. We're talking about what? Home inspection. So this is
Yes.
important. Check, please.
Check, please. Oh, speaking of check, please. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Oh, yes. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers today out there, even to the singles. Happy Valentine's Day because, listen, you never know. It could be the day.
Where are the married people? What are your plans this evening?
I have no idea.
Where y'all eating at?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, I guess I'll be at home in my Oculus.
Oh, God.
See, we have the red flowers, y'all. The red shirt, Shay's got shades of red. We're just all feeling all the love today.
Absolutely.
For Valentine's. Oh, you know what? I want to tell this story. I did something so stupid. Speaking of checks, Friday, I went out in my RV, loaded up the kids and my cousin, and we went to Tats and Tacos. And I mean, we had a good time. We did karaoke. I didn't have anything to drink except for carbonated water. So I get the bill because it was my treat, right? Mm-hmm. So I get the bill, and I'm sitting there. My cousin told me that she was going to pay the bill. And I was like, oh, it's okay. I got it. I'm one of those. Don't expect it. I might flip the script on you. But if I invite you somewhere, I don't expect you to pay. But she wanted to pay the tip.
Right.
Okay. So I'm getting there. The waitress brings the check, and I'm there putting the tip on the check. I wrote it out for like $130. I put the tip in. Everything came up to $130. And then my cousin said, Sandy, did you check your bill? And I'm like, no. She's like, girl, they already charged you $30 for tip. Oh. I'm like, what? I said, okay.
Wow.
So it's so important to check anything that you're buying to make sure that you're paying for what you're really buying. You don't want to pay more than you don't want to pay more than what you're buying. Correct. Right? You rather pay less. But that would have been a loss. I don't know if I would have gone back to ask.
So now you're gonna know now the check, please.
Give me my tip back. Yeah, give me my tip back. So gotta check the check, please.
Absolutely.
Speaking of checks, today we have a very, very, very important part of my business and other realtors that are out there doing this real estate game. None other than licensed home inspector from Excel Property Inspections. He was actually, when I started Promiseland 5 years ago, he was the very first inspector that I used, and I have not, it's Excel Property Inspections. Mm-hmm. I have not ventured off to any other companies because
that speaks of their work.
Yeah, I trust Andy just that much. And he and I also facilitate homeowners education with the Urban League on a volunteer basis. So with no further ado, we're going to invite the incomparable Andy Wilson from Excel Property Inspection to the SIP table.
Come on, Andy.
I thought that was a long introduction.
We're welcome.
You cheers at the table.
We gotta cheers. They gotta see us.
Yes. So, Andy, thank you for coming.
Yes. Well, thank you, ladies, for having me. I appreciate that. And yes, check your check. I always check your check.
Like me.
No, I do like her. I need to start checking.
I fell victim to the same thing recently. And it was, I had a glass of wine at a restaurant, and they charged me for the bottle. And I didn't even think about it till afterwards, but and they were about to close, so we called them back. And fortunately, we were able to, it's a small restaurant. We got the waitress. She was very apologetic. I know it was not something done deliberately. Yeah. And she credited us what was done. And because it was her mistake, not only did she credit us the bottle, but she took off the glass. Yes, but check it because you don't know, and especially with restaurants, sometimes they add the gratuity to it, and you don't even know. So
yeah. Well, you know, I wish Ruth Chris would have done that. Literally, I took 12 people to eat at Ruth Chris, and the waiter spilled grease all over my dress.
Oh God!
Wow.
And they didn't charge me for dessert. I just feel like they should have done
Dessert
a little
one
bit
enough.
more.
They you know, they should have honestly. And listen, I'm a fair I'm more. They should have comped you for your meal.
Yes,
Because they had 11 other meals.
Yeah.
They should have comped you for your meal.
And-
yeah.
11 other meals.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
Wasn't cheap.
Oh no.
All right, so we'll jump right into it. So check please. Why do we want to check please? So I was sharing with them before we started that if you're using an FHA loan, FHA does not require you as a buyer to get a home inspection. But why is it, Andy, that a buyer would want to get a home inspection? Now we're just gonna let you run with it. This is your expertise.
Okay, great. And that's, of course, great question. It's always important for a buyer to have an inspection done so that the majority of the deals nowadays are what they call as-is deals, which means as is, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
So with that being the situation, you want to know, I always like to use this scenario. If you're going to purchase a car, you always, when purchasing the car, you always test drive it.
That's the truth.
Yes.
And a car, no matter what, if it's a Honda, a Chevy, a regular car, or like you ladies, one drives a Bugatti and the other one drives a Ferrari.
They receive that. We gotta stop.
Yeah. And one of them has a Bentley too. So no, but even if it's a high-end car, once that car leaves the lot,
Mm-hmm.
it depreciates in value. If you're going to check something and test drive something that depreciates in value,
Mm-hmm.
how much more important would it be to test drive something that is a investment that will appreciate in value? And that's where the inspection process is. The inspector test drives the home for you, so you know if this is just like, am I going to take this car and take it home and drive it and depend on it every day? Am I going to take this home and depend on it every day to live in?
Right.
So that's why it's very important for you to have a home inspection done, so you know, number one, the number one reason for a purchaser to have a home inspection, hands down, always should be done, is so that you know what you're getting into, so you can make an educated decision.
That's good.
And how long have you been doing inspections, Andy?
19 years.
Wow.
He probably could see this stuff in his sleep.
Yeah. You just drive by the house and sit outside and say, the roof is bad, the soffits are going.
Yeah.
She's telling on herself. She might not be an inspector, but when we go into places, she be like,
Yeah.
this is a roof issue.
I can tell, but here's the thing. As realtors, as trained as my eyes may be, Andy being in the business for 19 years, but they tell us it doesn't matter how trained we are as realtors, we're actually not encouraged and not allowed to make decisions based on our expertise. We call in the experts.
Yes.
Please do. Yeah. And one thing I will say to this is this also, every woman over 12 years old is an inspector and a detective. They're inspectors and detectives, but that's another story.
That's true.
So Andy, what are some of the things that you found during your inspection duties that could make or break a deal?
One thing with inspections, ladies, is that every inspection, you're going to find something. It's not something, sometimes people believe that we write stuff in our report just to make it up because we're getting paid. That's not the case. There's always something that we find, and most of the things are minute. Most of them are things that you're going to find in any property that because people live in a home.
Right.
Most of them are like that. But to your question, Sandy, major things that we find are roof issues, electrical issues, plumbing, structural issues. Everybody knows, unfortunately, what happened there with Champlain Towers down in Surfside. Nothing that crazy, but we do find structural issues where a structural engineer has to come out and do some work on the home.
And the sellers try to hide.
Yes.
Sellers will try to hide those things under a rug. Sometimes they'll try to hide it under the wall art.
Right.
So
I've been to a home and saw it before. It was something covering, and the girl was very particular, and I had to remove. I said, "Can I remove this painting?" For some reason, removed it. It was like a hole. You remember I sent you a picture, a big hole in the wall. Something was going on with the water. And I was like, I gotta send this to Sam. This just looks suspicious.
Well,
Right?
one of
It
the
happens,
things
it
I
happens.
love about working with Andy is now we keep it real on this show, Andy. We do. One of the things I love about working with you, you're very thorough. So thorough to the point, and I'm just letting you know, you may not end up closing on that house. Why? Because Andy's going to find it. He's doing it. He's doing it because he's a person of integrity. He's doing it because he's a person of diligence. So if you want an inspector that's just going to come in and do a willy-nilly job just so they can help you close a deal, that's not what we do. We work with excellence in this business.
Yes.
So if the inspector says, hey, this AC, if Andy's telling you that the AC is not good, and he's telling you that the roof is not good, and he's telling you that the plumbing is not good, those things, if you're using a loan to purchase this house, those things has to be addressed before closing. Many times, those are big ticket items. Sellers are not going to want to repair all of that stuff. I've seen where sellers have replaced roofs, but Andy, some of the things that you find, I guess one question is, do you offer any repair services? Or because in your report, at the end of your report, there's a summary that calculates just about how much the work to repair those issues may cost. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I want you to be able to let them know that even though you put those numbers there, how do you come to those numbers, and what are the options that they have to be able to attain that house, even though those numbers look big on your report?
Great.
That's good.
And yes. Now, the thing is, it's ironic. Sandy brought out they deal with excellence. Well, the first part of excellence is Excel.
Excel.
So that made my ears jump up.
Oh, that was
Yes, right. But to the point, yes, we do have people that we offer who can do the work, but it's upon request. And we personally don't do the work either. Let me tell you why. We personally don't do it because I personally think that if we did the work too, it'd be a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna pay me for an inspection, and then I know we're humans, we're imperfect, but then I know I can get extra money by doing repairs too. Sometimes I might find things that are not really big there, but we don't do that. We don't put ourselves in that predicament. So we personally do not do any repairs. All we do is inspections. Now, when we write things down and we have issues that need to be repaired, we do have people that we can refer our clients to, but that's upon request. We don't just give them that list because, again, we don't want to seem as if we're pushing anyone. But if people ask us, we do. And I'll tell you this, there's nothing wrong with a finder's fee, where a person refers business, and if they get work, they get a fee.
Right.
There's nothing wrong if people do that, but we personally don't do that because we've been fortunate where God has blessed us fortunately enough where we get enough work where we don't have to have any extra money on the side, and there's nothing wrong with it. But what we do the one thing, we don't want a finder's fee from any contractor that we refer, and we refer only licensed contractors so the work is done correctly. We don't want a finder's fee. The one thing we tell anyone that we tell the people that we're referring, whether it's a roofer, an electrician, a plumber, an HVAC tech, whatever, GC, give our client good service. That's all I want. I don't want $100 if you get to close a job. I don't want $50. I want the people who I refer to have to good value, give them good service, And to your point about pricing, we do put prices in our report, and the pricing that we put in the report, ladies, we put the prices in there of having the licensed contractor do the repair and do it completely. If suppose the AC is bad and we write it up, it might be $5,000 or $5,500, but that's for parts, labor, and installation. So that they know. So the numbers may scare people, but exactly, it's a market rate, and it's to get whatever issue it is to make it whole and remedy the issue completely.
So if you may see on your inspection report that it's estimated to cost $125 to change out an outlet, Uncle Bobby and Uncle John, who is a licensed electrician but loves you so much, will change out that same outlet for maybe $25. They may even do it for free. So don't get afraid just because the contractor prices are there for the report. And then just jumping into this, before you tell us the different kinds of inspection, Andy, I wanted to know. I'm losing my train. I'm losing my train of thought. But tell us the different kinds of inspection that a home buyer will need when purchasing.
Okay, perfect. The number one inspection for a home buyer to get is called a comprehensive inspection.
How much does that cost?
It depends on square footage and the type of property. But roundabout, I'll tell you, your typical condominium, let's say, when I say typical, what's typical? Say a 2-2 condo, say 1,200, 1,000 square feet, 800 square feet, you're looking at $300. That's for the comprehensive. Your typical, now that's usually the comprehensive for, let's talk about condos. That's all you really will probably need, because there are two other inspections I'm going to talk about on villas and townhomes and single family homes. But usually just need the comprehensive from an inspector on when you're doing a purchase. Because I'm just going to mention these. A 4-point and windstorm mitigation, you would need those on these other properties, but usually the condo association has that on file.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're going to need those inspections, but more than likely you shouldn't have to pay an inspector for it because it should be on file with the building.
Right.
So 300,
The
HOA should have that on file.
I can't
Now, yeah. I know why too. Now, when you guys are purchasing a villa or a townhome, you're going to need a 4-point and windstorm mitigation. The comprehensive, the 4-point, and the windstorm mitigation, you're looking at around $450 for a townhome or villa. And then if you're purchasing a single family home, you're going to need that comprehensive again, the 4-point, the windstorm, but you're also going to need something called a WDO inspection, which stands for wood destroying organism, or more commonly known, as Sandy just mentioned, a termite inspection. So with that, on your typical home, you're looking at, let's say, $475. Your typical home, $475 or $500 to $475 for that, and that would be for the comprehensive, the 4-point, the windstorm, and the termite inspection. You don't need termite with a condo because it's covered by the condo association because you're in a shared building, and you don't really need one for a townhome or villa either because you are in a building that's attached. So the HOA should cover that too. Now, single family homes, because you're a single entity, you're going to need one for that. Even if there is a HOA in that community, you still need your own termite inspection.
And how long does these inspections take?
Some inspectors, a lot of realtors get upset with me, the listing agents, that's the seller's agent. Because when I go in and I say, well, this condo inspection is going to take an hour and a half to an hour, and I only had to an hour, my guy takes 20 minutes. What are you going to do, rebuild the place? Well, no, I'm going to do my job. I'm thorough, I'm detailed. I don't get paid by the hour. I don't get paid by the half hour. I get paid by the job. And that's how long it takes because we're detailed. We do the inspection on site and we're very detailed. So it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to do your typical condo. A townhome or villa takes about 3 hours to do. And a single family home, your typical 3-2, 1,500 square foot single family home takes around 3.5 to 4 hours. Okay. And again, I do that. Our thing at XL Property Inspections, there's some inspectors say they do 3 or 4, like 4 or 5 home inspections a day.
Wow.
That's good for them. Quantity. We do about 2. We can sometimes get 4 in if we're pushing it from 8 a.m. to 9:30 at night. But our typical, we usually do 2 or 3 inspections a day. And our thing is more quality than quantity. That's what we push. We push quality than quantity.
That's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So if you're a home buyer, when Andy presents his inspection report to us as realtors, we will review that with you. We trust Andy. So all of the things that he has listed on this property that's good and that's bad, we will then take to the seller, and we would start to use that report as a negotiation tool to either get the seller to agree to repair some things or to give you as a home buyer a credit to have those things fixed after you close on the house. So although FHA does not require a home buyer to get a home inspection, it's very important that you get one. And the reason why FHA doesn't require that is because they actually do an appraisal inspection. They do their own inspection. So tell me the difference, Andy, between an appraisal and an inspection.
That's good.
Just briefly.
Of course, and I'll be very brief with it. They're similar but different. The appraisal, where we go in as an inspection company and we're inspecting and evaluating the property and finding any deficiencies so that you know what you're getting into. What the appraiser does, the appraiser lets you know the value of the home. This 15 or 30-year mortgage that I'm going to have, is it worth this amount? So the appraiser lets you know the cost of the home, and what they do, they find similar homes in, I think, a mile radius to the home that you're purchasing, so that you're not overpaying. Not only you, but they have a secondary person in that too, the mortgage company. They want to make sure that the mortgage company is not overpaying for a property for 15 or 30 years.
Right.
And you are also. So sometimes they get us mixed up, but what we do is we inspect the home and let you know what you're getting into so you can make an educated decision. The appraiser lets you know the cost of the home so that you are investing your money wisely.
That's
Right.
good.
Okay. And so, Annie, you service Broward and the Palm Beaches and Miami. Is there anywhere else outside of those?
Yeah, we do. Port St. Lucie too. I always like to say we are, of course, licensed throughout the state. We've been up as far as the Panhandle on commercial jobs and down into Dade County. Dade County, down into Monroe County and out to Lee County. But our service area, I like to say, is Southern Florida, not just South Florida of Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, the Tri-County area of South Florida, but we get up to Port St. Lucie sometimes. We get into Martin County, of course, and we get down to Monroe County sometimes too. So the meat and potatoes of our work is the Tri-County area, but we will go, if it's worth it, we'll go a little bit further if we need to.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Annie. And listen, when you married people go out tonight to celebrate Valentine's, don't worry, your wife won't see this. You'll be at dinner before this airs. Remember to check your bill.
Check your check.
bill.
And when you're buying your house, remember to check the house.
Check the house.
So check, please. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Real Estate Sips with Sandy and Shay. Remember to tune in next week on our YouTube channel when we will have Debbie Adams from Weston Title.
All right. Have a great one. See you next time.
Thank you, ladies.
Cheers.